Welcome back to the podcast series, Self-Love is a Practice. Today, we're going to be dropping into one of the most confronting and daunting series, both in the podcast as well as in life. And this is self-love and forgiveness. You're going to notice that I'm even speaking a bit slower here. There is no success recipe to forgiveness. Here's the one thing I know though. Forgiveness starts with self. And in order for you to have any self-love practice whatsoever, you must be willing to forgive yourself for where you fall short. Forgiveness is never about the other. Forgiveness is always about the self. Throughout my life, I have often been invited to, Nadine, you have to let go, you have to forgive. You have to let go, you have to forgive. I'm sure you've heard that as well. But what does that really mean? What does it really mean to practice self-forgiveness? And I'm going to share with you the most effective definition I have certainly ever heard about self-love. And it is simply this. Self-love is relinquishing the hope that things were different than they actually are. I'm going to repeat this. Self-forgiveness, funny I made that Freudian slip. Self-forgiveness is relinquishing the hope that things were different than they actually are. Now here's the thing. When you do that, you give rise to acceptance. It doesn't mean that you have resigned yourself and you're a pushover. And it doesn't mean that you're going to allow yourself to be in the same position again. But the fact of the matter is you can only shift something, A, once you become aware of it, and B, once you accept it for what it is. When we do not forgive, it gives rise to anger. It gives rise to judgment. It gives rise to resentment. And you know what they say about resentment? Resentment is that pill that you swallow waiting for the other person to die. Now, why would you continue to allow someone to take up so much space in your psyche when they probably don't even remember that you exist? So this is why we want to forgive. We forego what happened so that we can set ourselves free. Forgiveness gives rise to freedom, and freedom is the gateway to our self-love. Remember what I said. Self-love is the most radical form of activism. So how do we begin to forgive? Well, acknowledge what happened. There's no point in denying what happened. And when I say acknowledge, try to acknowledge the facts rather than your feelings around the facts. Now, while feelings are not facts, it does not mean that they are not true. I'm going to repeat that. While feelings may not be facts, it does not negate them nor say that they are not true. So acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge how you feel. Release the attachment to the story and the pain. Easier said than done. How do you release? You go through activities like journaling. You go through activities like breathing. You go through activities like moving. You choose to practice compassion for yourself. At a practical level, what does that mean? The self-love hug. Hugging yourself. Embracing yourself as though you were a baby, pouring into yourself instead of pouring venom onto the other one. And you know, there's a beautiful Hawaiian prayer. You can Google it, the Ho'oponopono prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you. And you just keep repeating that prayer, repeating those words. And again, one day something will click. This is why I say self-love is a practice. And whatever we practice, we get good at. I'm going to leave you with something that I remember when I heard it, it truly confronted me. Just as you are here listening to this podcast, or you have sat in therapy, or you have spoken to someone because someone hurt you or someone did you wrong, someone is also sitting down talking to someone or in therapy or ruminating about something that they did, that you did to them. Oh, yes. So remember, life is a cycle and a circle, and we're human. Unless we're psychopathic, and there are psychopaths out there, there is unhealthy narcissism. By nature, we want to give and receive love. No one sets out intentionally to hurt another person. But here is the thing: hurt people hurt people. So this is why you want to work on your own wounds, so that you're not running around unconscious hurting other people. So I want to leave you with a quote here. Forgiveness is the key to unlocking the door to self-love. I repeat, forgiveness is the key to unlocking the door to self-love. I'm going to give you a bonus activity here because somehow this feels somewhat incomplete. I invite you, not that I want, pardon my languaging. Make a list of all of those people that you want to forgive. Make a list of them. Just allow the pen to pour on the paper. And then I just want you to write down, I forgive. You can write it, you can speak it out. I remember being in Bali with one of my teachers, and when he said to me, you have to forgive, and as I laid there in meditation, oh my goodness, stuff came up from I was 7 years old that I thought I had forgotten. But the body remembers. This goes back to self-love and trauma. The body remembers. So we're walking around, we're carrying all of these wounds with us without even realizing them. But the day you choose to consciously forgive, oh my goodness, that's when the love is going to pour into you and you're going to pour into yourself. So again, forgiveness is the key to unlocking the door to self-love. And so it is. My name is Nadine McNeil, Universal Empress, transforming lives one breath at a time. Namaste.